think we're all right. There we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to a brand episode of the Who's Good Again podcast. I'm your host, Sabin. I'm joined by my two co-hosts, Akshay and Tushar. If you are joining us for the live stream, if you're catching this at a later date on YouTube, we do this show live on Mondays or Tuesdays after the weekend's fixtures. Then we do a preview just before the upcoming weekend's fixtures. This can also be listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and several other platforms that you may like. And that will happen a day after the live stream is completed. But that being said, today is a brave day. It's a brave day for for me because there's only one place to start after that weekend's fixtures. I am wearing, and like for those of you on audio, I'm currently wearing the 07-08 United kit. Now, did I plan to wear it? No, I went to the gym and then I usually swap shirts at the gym when I'm done. And this is the one thing I picked, and I almost did it subconsciously. And I came back home and I was just about to tell myself, okay, I probably need to go shower. And then I realized, oh wait, whoa, damn, what the hell was that? Uh, oh shit! But yeah, uh, I ended up just deciding not like to stay in this shirt for the episode, so we could address the massive elephant-sized issue in the room, which was the Manchester derby. First of all, before we get into it, hello everybody, how's it going?
Good, good. Luckily, I missed watching the derby.
So I watched it. I was watching it in transit. So as I was heading home, and I started the
Yeah.
game, and I think I logged in at around 5 minutes, and within 2 minutes of me logging in, Phil Foden scored this absolute banger. Then I'd say for about 10 minutes, United had some sort of attacking threat. They didn't really do much with it. They just had a threat, like it was there, and the moment that Haaland's second goal goes in, or the first goal, his first goal, and City's second goal goes in, the game was over as a contest. and, and by the time the fourth goal went in, I remember texting a group and I was laughing. I was like, you know what, boys, some damage control now would be nice. That is like I almost found it morbidly funny. It wasn't even shocking as much because I guess the one thing that Ten Hag did, and he tried to like really, it's a really stupid mistake other managers have made in the past. He tried to out Pep, and when that happens,
This
that
was the wrong.
the scoreline is a reflection of what the results would look like.
Wow. Yeah, I also watched that game, the highlights at least. I missed most of the game, but I was just watching the game and thinking that, dude, like City dominating the league is becoming too routine and it's just scary and not great for football or entertainment in general for the Premier League. Uh, Besides the whole United losing it thing, I was just thinking to myself because I was like, it shouldn't become a farmers league like Bayern Munich in Germany where it's just one team just massively dominating and everybody else just follows. But them getting Haaland and KDB in the same team is just like I remember watching the Arsenal game, like damn, Arsenal is doing well, but two bad cities in this league, and I was like, that's
Yeah.
such a shit thing to feel. Like
Especially if you're a supporter that's in a title charge,
yeah,
your team
exactly.
is good, but it's not quite Manchester City.
Yeah,
And
but you're in game week 9 and you're already like, yeah, Arsenal, they're doing well, but City, and you're in game week 9, and it's just so sad to feel that way as a fan, at least, right? So yeah, I mean that's what I was thinking. Of course, the sheer domination of uh, Haaland and Foden, it was just crazy. Like to the point where just after halftime, Pep took half his team off. He did what,
it's
four or five substitutions or something.
yeah, the garbage. Those are called garbage minutes. The game was won effectively at
Yeah,
halftime. It
basically they
was
won it, and then he took his foot off the gas, and then after that he's complaining and he's like, "Oh, we let in too many goals. Team can improve and all that." It's like when you get an A plus, and then you like it's like confirmed Pep is actually an Asian parent, dude. Like basically.
So a lot of us, by the time, at least for the United fans, the major thing was okay. At least that second half, we won the second half, moral
Yeah.
victory.
Yeah.
So that's what everyone
But
kept saying.
but the Anthony goal was one to talk about.
The Anthony
Yeah,
goal
Although
is
yeah, it was
I think
actually a great goal.
he
a
was a
blinder.
great goal, but he was terrible in the first half, like
Yeah.
absolutely terrible. Him, Sancho, Rashford, none of them could hold the ball. And the thing is, you try and play a high pressing game without any sort of ball retention, you're going to get absolutely murdered on the counter. Like Haaland had 6 touches in the game, he scored 3 goals and got an assist. Like, he's so this is it, right? He's 6 goals away from equaling last season's Golden Boot record, and we're in game week 9. So,
Yeah.
like, there's no contest. I mean, the third goal, which is the one that KDB crossed to Haaland. At that point, you just got to like stand up and clap. When the third goal went in, and I looked at the KDB pass, I was like, there's no chance, and
Dude,
there is no chance. And
just looking at those stats makes it look like some guy put some in-game cheat or something. Like if you see 3 consecutive hat tricks, or even forget consecutive, just 3 hat tricks in the Premier League. Like Haaland is at 8, next is 47, then 71, then 122,
Yeah.
and 212. He's at 8, dude. Like his first 8 games, he scored 3 hat tricks and 3 consecutive home hat tricks.
they have Southampton next week. I wouldn't bet against it being 4. Like it's.
But you never know which Southampton will come across. But with
No, but
Haaland,
Southampton at
Yeah,
home
but
is a
Haaland-
problem.
Yeah.
Haaland is just the great eraser. So there's been a lot of comparisons to Ivan Drago from Rocky 4. So for those of you who haven't seen Rocky 4, Rocky 4 is basically where Apollo, spoilers for Rocky 4, I guess. Apollo Creed, one of Rocky's best friends before, like rival turned best friend, ends up going in the ring against this Russian cyborg like boxer known as Ivan Drago, who basically beats the life out of him, kills him in the ring, and he's this unkillable, like insane machine. And everyone's like, "Oh, like this is the Ivan Drago moment for the league, where Haaland and his dad have come back to take revenge on Roy Keane for what he did 20 years ago." So it's a bit of a horrible time, especially for a United fan, because one, you haven't seen your team play in a month, and you come back to whatever that shit show was, so you're not exactly in the best of moods. And then halfway through that game, you just like descend into like the sense of dark humor, because it's so bad. Like it is so bad. How could this possibly get any worse in this particular game? And I think it's a good lesson. So the one thing I'm not too fussed about is that, okay, this is a good lesson. That team is just eons ahead of the current United squad. So it's not like the 6-1 where there was that there was a slight difference in quality of teams, which meant that these people were which meant that like the results mattered more. Here, like I feel before you even step onto the pitch and having seen that tank up front, the game was kind of lost. And Ten Hag should learn from this. I think I sincerely hope he learns from this, because that was a bit of a battering that the team should have avoided. Akshay, you phenomenally missed this game. How could you? What were you doing?
I missed it, or
I don't know. I think so. We all had plans to watch this game together, and then life happened, and then we all went our separate ways. I'm so glad we didn't, because man, I would not
if we
want
had
to.
watched together, I don't know what we would have broken. I
We
guess.
wouldn't have broken anything. Listen, I can't. Like the plan was to watch it in my house. If we broke anything, I'd have been a dead man. So if anything, I would be the one person that's broken. But
No, but
that's what I was.
but I had a plan to watch it. So I actually went for a movie yesterday, and I was thinking that I'll probably watch it on my phone once in a while, just keep a track of it. But I didn't bother doing that after I saw.
When did you check the score? Like when you checked the score, what was the score like?
I kept getting updates when on the notification. So
okay. So it wasn't like an intermission where you're like, oh, I should probably check on the score.
No,
Actually,
no.
terrible. We sat next to the movie theater. I would have yelled at you like some 5 times.
It was luckily the gold class, so like it was quite distant from other people.
Found you and yelled at you somewhere, but
and it was on mute, so I didn't even bother.
Yeah. But
as soon as I saw like the United messages come up that, oh, we've scored, that's when I turn on the app just to see how, like, what the goal was and how the goal happened.
And I think within a couple of minutes after that, you had
They score again.
yeah,
So,
Haaland just like scores an absolute tap in.
yeah,
The man is he's specifically in in that 6-yard box, and it's man, he's a freak. I still do believe that for the second goal, having Christian Eriksen mark him made no sense. I don't know who is in charge of those tactics. Why it's necessary for why Eriksen was the one picking Haaland up at corners, because it happened twice. I mean, I know Varane was off the field. Varane didn't have a good game against him. Neither did Martinez. But in spite of that, it was still Eriksen who was picking up Haaland at corners, which is a mismatch of the century, if you ask me.
that doesn't make any sense. Yeah. At least put McTominay in there, who can at least like sort of muscle him or give him some competition.
I mean, McTominay wasn't doing anything either.
Like that team selection by Eric Ten Hag made no sense, because you have a man on a pacemaker versus a mountain, dude. Like, how does that match up? Like, at least put in McTominay and Fred and get work rate in, and then maybe you could have closed
Or
that
at least
down.
Casemiro
Yeah, Casemiro.
to hold on
I'm
to the
sure
ball.
at least one of those goals, Casemiro would have done a tackle, taken a yellow, and gotten off. Like, that's the most Madrid strategy that you could have done easily.
The thing is, like, when you go to like Manchester City, the most success that teams have had there have had success on the counter attack, right? That's the whole
sit
point.
back.
Yeah, you sit and you hit City on the counter attack. So City also, let's be honest, City had a depleted squad coming into that team. Their two starting centre backs weren't starting, and they had, I think, Ake and Akanji had come in, who basically are both, if they're not very good defenders, but they're very quick, which instantly negates the Rashford threat behind. So that's out of the window. And just look at the teams that have had success there. Like United for that fact, as a matter of fact, United under Ole went to the Etihad time after time, and kept it compact, hit them on the counter, like retained the ball in important positions, and pick their moments. This seemed a bit naive, and even if you go so far as to see Madrid last year at the Etihad, where they lost the game, but every time they moved, they bombed on forward, they were a threat. Like, it looked like they were going to cause some sort of damage to Manchester City, which they eventually did in the second leg. But for the first leg, not much. I mean, you could see that there was something to be afraid of, and they kept it compact. Ten Hag, I don't know what the idea was. Was he trying to outplay Pep with regards to certain things? Did he try and keep it like employ the tactics that worked against Arsenal and Liverpool against a Man City team, which is basically peak of their powers, Man City, right? I don't think they're going to get better than this, and I don't know when they're going to lose a game. If I were an Arsenal fan, I'd be very worried about that Invincibles record, because that tank of a man is coming. I think they should have lost that Crystal Palace game. They really should have. Palace should have scored that third goal where it was a horrendous miss. But besides that, they just look like they look unbeatable at the moment.
I actually don't even think they're in their final form or in their full form or full squad yet. Like, Haaland's still like, I'm improving, I still have to get into form. KDB is like, the team is still integrating. So I'm scared of like the December Man City team. I don't know how much better they can get, but that team is going to be insane. Like,
I don't. I'm not quite sure.
You mean pre-World Cup or post-World Cup?
I mean, maybe post-World Cup. This year it might not actually happen. But generally, they go into first gear in like Jan. Like, so many times where there'll be like another team winning it, and then in Jan they'll come and they'll get a 10-point lead, 12-point lead, and gone the league.
The league is over by March, basically, like every single time.
Anyway, Haaland's not good at the World Cup, so you already
he's going to just be sitting there resting.
While the
be like,
rest of the
boys, you look a little tanned and tired. What's happening?
Yeah.
I feel Haaland should, like, they try to do this thing where they get him to go and play for each team at the World Cup at different stages to see what it would be like, so that every team can have a Haaland situation.
Like a Joker kind of thing.
Yeah, trump card, like a trump card.
The only way to beat Haaland is with Real Madrid. Real Madrid need to activate his release clause, and then uh, United are going to end. I'm sorry. Then City will look beatable once more. It's just the De Bruyne and Haaland combination is unfair. Like it's so unfair. I don't even know what to say. Oh, they're just so good. And we haven't even spoken about Foden's hat trick, dude. Foden scored also two hat tricks in a single game.
Yeah,
The more I
that's
think about it, the more upset I'm getting now. Damn stupid United. But then you can't really blame United. You can't blame. And I think
yeah,
any team that goes there and plays the way we did is going to get slapped.
that is true. But I have a question. If do you think he should have played Ronaldo
No,
in this sort of a game?
it would have hit double figures. I would have.
I mean,
I still.
at that point, it's like, what difference would it have made if he played or didn't play Ronaldo?
There's no point. I mean, the thing with Ronaldo, at least if you start the game off right, you start the game off with an intent to attack. Ronaldo is not the player that was going to fit the system that he wanted. In fact, it would have been worse. And in the second half of the time, like you obviously bring him on as a sub, but then it's already 6-1, 6-2.
Then it does make sense. Yeah.
It's like, dude, Ronaldo go run around the pitch for 10 minutes. Might as well give those minutes to like the likes of Martial, who's coming back from injury and who kind of looks sharp.
But,
Like
but he did well. Oh, Martial.
Yeah, he scored 2 goals. He also was almost
Yeah.
on a hat trick. It would have been
Yeah,
fun if he'd gotten his hat trick. It would have been a very hilarious narrative, like a game of 3 hat tricks. I don't think it's ever happened before. So
I don't think
it
so
would
either.
have it would have been a fun thing to check out. But besides that, I mean, Ronaldo, like it'd have been frustrating for him. And I agree with Ten Hag. Ten Hag mentioned that he, like, out of respect, he didn't bring him on, and I fully am on board with the idea, because what's even the point of bringing him on, and then it just piles more pressure on him and it makes him look worse. Let him sit this out. It's fine.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay. Any more thoughts to add on the Manchester derby before we move on?
Yeah, I thought like Foden did a good job as well, even though everyone's like Haaland. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Foden was killing it. That first goal was oof.
Amazing. Yeah, and I think everyone should give that boy his due as well.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, people may not probably give it to him.
Like no one talks about Foden, like in all the match threads, everything I'm watching. It's only like,
Yeah.
I mean, because Haaland is definitely player of the season, right? I think there will come a point where people figure out how to combat him, but until then, I don't see that happening.
that's fair.
But yeah, moving on from the Manchester derby, let's quickly look to talk about what happened at North London on Saturday, the 12:30 kickoff, 5 o'clock. If you were in this Indian subcontinent, Spurs, dude. Spurs again. Arsenal were very good, and Spurs were extremely, extremely timid and insipid. They were. I don't know what Conte's tactics were. This is a game I believe all of us watched.
Yeah, I was sort of watching it. Yeah.
Yeah, so this was a game that we tried to. I don't know what just happened. Okay, so this was a game that was built to be like a tabletopper decider, right? Because Spurs were on 17 points. I think Spurs would have cut the deficit to a point had they beaten Arsenal. But from that game, it was increasingly apparent that Arsenal are a team that other teams need to keep a watch out for. Are they going to win the league? I don't think so, and the only reason I don't think they're going to even challenge for the league. I mean, there are 2 reasons. One is the Europa League fixtures, and which cause havoc for Arsenal's back end of the season most times. And the second is obviously the Manchester City-sized elephant in the room, right? But in spite of all of that, it's just, they were just so good to watch. They almost forced the ball into the back of the net when things aren't going their way. If you notice, like the Thomas Partey goal, that like absolute rocket into the back, into the near post, and then Saka slams one into Hugo Lloris, who spills it, and Gabriel Jesus tucks it in. Then Emerson Royal
Yeah.
stupidly goes and gets himself sent off.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
was
just
unnecessary.
it was an unnecessary tackle. He wasn't going anywhere. It didn't require.
Yeah, it didn't require that harsh of a tackle by him.
Yeah, it was stupid
Yeah.
because I think at 2-1 with 11 men you have a chance. 2-1 with 10 men, oh, it's
10
like
men.
the game is over, my friend.
Yeah.
So not the best for not the best for a Spurs fan. But where do you see Arsenal in terms of the league? Where do you think they're finishing?
I think top four for sure. Given if their current form continues the way it is, I think top four is definitely in the works for them.
Top four is, I think they could finish second, and I think they could finish second comfortably because the other teams are all don't have their houses in order. It just seems like in an extremely perilous time for the other top six contenders. But
I
Arsenal, I
think
think,
they're more than top six now, given this season especially.
yeah, I think I don't know. Like I feel like we say this on every episode. I don't quite know how the league is going to look like post December. Like you have no idea who is going to be
Play
on
how many
top.
games,
Who's there?
and
Yeah,
you don't know how many of these players are going to play X number of games at the World Cup.
I think each
Yeah.
team current.
And you don't know how many of these guys will be injured or even come back or any of that. Like, just this fixture congestion is just going to be insane on injuries. There was a recent status on The Athletic that the last year, just because the amount of fixtures, the Premier League had the highest number of injuries. Because one of the
I'm not surprised,
physicality,
yeah.
second the fixtures.
I believe each, like some teams play about 10 fixtures within this month, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
insane,
yeah.
dude. Like, your players should not be playing
That's
that many.
more than an average of 2 games a week. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
2.5 games a week, which is too much.
Yeah.
So I don't think you will get like the best football this year. This is going to be teams who will absorb energy, sit back, try and slow down pace, all of that. They're not
Yeah, it's
going
going to come down to that.
Yeah, they're going to come down to that.
December. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of fatigue
Yeah.
come back into the team, and it's going to be just a whole bunch of overworked players just running around the pitch, or like
Yeah. And someone like
limping
a
around the
Conte
pitch.
who loves to like overrun his players, they won't survive, dude, after the World Cup. If he still pushes them that way, they're going to be out for weeks. And he's done that before. Conte's done that before, where he's pushed his
Yeah.
players to injury and pushed them past what they can do. So yeah,
But
I
I
don't
think
know
that-
actually. The topmost will be Man City, but after that, till even 6th or 7th, I don't know.
It's going to be. I think most of the mid-level clubs that are going to progress during that time, at least for the first few months post the World Cup, because I don't think most of their players will
No,
go to the World
even
Cup.
right now, Brighton's 5th or something, right?
Yeah, Brighton's 5th. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I believe
The top
Brighton
four,
are fourth.
The top 4.
Yeah,
I
they're
think.
fourth.
Yeah, the top 4, right? And
Yeah.
so is Arsenal. Arsenal second.
With a game in hand, the 4th with a game in hand.
Yeah, but even there, like Chelsea, United, everyone have a game in hand.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, right. So that whole like second to like 7th place is just gonna keep switching every game week. Like there's no dominance there yet.
Yeah, there's only 3 points. There's actually only 4 points between 4th and 11th.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's one game, like a one win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Liverpool not dominating anymore, they've just lost steam and plot. So that top 2 thing, that dominance was there, is gone this season. But it's a good thing. At least if not the first, at least top 2 is a
The
good
top
fight.
2
I
should
guess.
have a good fight. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
But in the derby, Kane scored his customary derby penalty, if I'm right. Or I think he always scores a penalty in the derby.
He did, yeah. So Harry Kane, as per
Oh,
usual.
Kane. Oh.
Okay,
Yeah,
but does he normally does score a penalty, right? In pretty
always
much every.
every
Yeah, dude.
single derby, like it's like a North London derby. Spurs get a pen. Um,
Yeah.
He
Now
really
the red
FIFA
card.
22'd it because nobody could figure out that penalty, so they just hit it down straight.
Yeah.
Oh, FIFA 23 has a new penalty system, which is kind of like the older days.
Oh,
Of
the power thing.
Yeah, but it's like now it's on the ball, so it's kind of gone back to that.
Oh, good. That'd be
I mean,
fun.
it's much better than the crap they had for years with that direction button nonsense. Like you even didn't know where the penalty was going.
Yeah,
You had
even
no
you wouldn't know.
immediate.
Nobody knew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
nobody
was
knew.
just
It's the
absolutely
Russian
chaos.
roulette of penalties, dude.
So it was always deciders, right? It was very annoying. But with regards to that red card, I know I've been seeing quite a bit of discussion online about how it should have been a yellow. It's not worthy of a red. Like, what do you guys think? Do you think it should have been a red?
It was a red. It was boots up against his
Yeah.
thigh. I mean, not his thigh, whatever.
His shin.
Against his shin.
Sure.
I mean, the
And the
rule,
ball was nowhere to be found.
yeah, clearly says that, ball is not found. If your, what do you call, cleats up against him, then it's a red. Like, I don't know what discussion is there. Like, why is there discussion? It's pretty
No, because
clear.
apparently, so the issue was that people felt that in previous instances that card has been rescinded. That card has been like a yellow. The tackle has been a yellow card on several occasions. But with regards to, let's say, the just the derby and the heat of the moment, like it should not have been a red. I feel it was like an orange. It's not quite a red, but it's like not. It's a little more
Dude,
than a
if you
yellow.
go studs up against any
Orange.
player and there's no ball in sight, it's a clear red as per law. Anywhere in the world, whether there's VAR or not, I don't know how you can argue against the law of the game.
Yeah,
And
I
there
feel
was no
like
VAR put up for
I
this
think no,
also.
we are agreed. I think there was no
Yeah,
real
VAR checked it and was like, yeah, dude, he went studs up against him, so you can't.
studs up. At the moment you lift your leg at that height,
Yeah.
it's like it's a very
The
difficult.
ball had gone away from
But
his foot. So how can you? So he's just clearly just tackling him without actually any ball and play.
okay, here's a question: What if Anthony Taylor gave him a yellow card? Would VAR have overturned it and given it as a red? If you want to put it the other way, just for
I mean, it could
discussion's
have.
sake.
They could have. I
Oh,
believe. I
I
mean, I
mean,
think.
knowing how shit English VAR is, probably not. They won't go against the on-field referee. And also, it's Anthony Taylor, so they'll always mess
Yeah.
up. Shit.
Like Anthony Taylor has given Arsenal some very favorable decisions in the last couple of years. I think Chelsea fans will agree, given what happened. I think in the FA Cup final a few years ago, he sent Kovacic off.
We literally prepare our teams for Anthony Taylor games. Like, oh, dude, Anthony Taylor is our ref now. So this game, you have to pass like this. You have to tackle like this. Can you imagine? Instead of we won't prepare as much for the other team than we will for the ref. Okay,
Yeah, you'll have to be like, oh, should I tackle him or not?
yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah. But how many games beforehand do they know who the referee is? Any idea?
I think a week before, like a week in advance, you are told who the ref will be for a game. But I asked Akshay this. I want to know, where do you see Arsenal finishing in the table?
I feel like maybe third. Or
Who finishes second?
I feel like United can actually finish second.
I don't know. I don't think United are finishing second. I think United finished fourth because they won't have an up and down season. But speaking of up and down seasons, I think we should address the Chelsea situation. The Chelsea versus Palace game. I didn't exactly watch it, but I kept an eye on the highlights. But I hear Chelsea were very, very poor. What happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were absolutely dog shit. Like, And like the tempo, that our tempo was pedestrian, and like not New York, like London pedestrian, like slow. And I don't know, like we're lucky. Like Pulisic came on, gave a cameo, gave an assist to Gallagher. Gallagher just scored a worldie of a goal
Oh
that
yeah, that was a
made,
great goal. That was a great goal.
like, it was an
And
amazing.
hats off to him for not celebrating.
I
Yeah,
mean,
The respect for his old club,
I mean, I feel bad for Palace. It's almost
Palace.
poetic that
Yeah.
he gets transferred back and then he scores against them in his first game.
yeah, like that was the winner right at the death,
At the
and
winner
you
at the yeah
know.
Yeah,
at the very end.
But what was
and
really funny about this game was there was an exchange on Instagram, I believe, between Reece James and Zaha. Reece James put up a thing saying, "Oh, locked up," and then Zaha chirped back, and they were going back and forth about it. So I was like, okay, at least I'm excited to see that football has some sort of personalities that
but
are
to be fair,
current.
James did lock up Zaha, in
Yeah.
my opinion. He kept him very quiet. Like Zaha came on, and then in the first 5 minutes, he was extremely like flamboyant, flair. Zaha doing the Zaha things, and after that, James just shut down every ball that was going towards him, cutting him off, tackling him, everything. So he wasn't effective at all. So in that sense, I'm happy. My main problem is that our our midfield is just not working. Like there's no creative passing. The only thing we kept doing was just taking the ball, hoofing it to our forwards, throwing everybody forward, and trying to score. Sterling is there, Aubameyang is there, everyone is there, just like hoof, 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 and hopefully they score. Hopefully they score.
But they
Aubameyang
aren't really
one
target
striker,
men, right?
first touch. He's not even a target man. I mean, like a
Yeah.
target man is like you pass the ball to him, he gets the ball, and then you build around him and go forward and score, right? Kind of
Yeah.
like what we were trying to do with Diego Costa. But
Hmm.
Obama Young is just he's in the box. You hoof it, hoof it. He's not even Fox in the box. He's just in the box with some bunch of like, you hoof at him and you hope he kicks it in and he scores. Which is what he did. He actually did that. Like we got a little lucky. His first touch, he got it in.
Aubameyang is a straight up poacher. Like he'll get you goals. He's always more often than not in the right place at the right time. He makes those good. I think even as he's progressing into his 30s, he like he's shifting more towards that like poacher. Initially, a lot of his game was reliant on pace, but the thing with pace, right? It's the first thing that goes as soon as you hit 30. So I don't know. I believe with Potter's system, Potter is heavily underperforms his XG, so the team does create a lot. It'll be interesting to see where Chelsea end up at the end of the season. I think they do finish outside the top four this season, given what is happening at Chelsea. I believe it's a longer rebuild, but
I think
I
they'll
think in the
actually finish inside. Like I feel like you guys overrate Spurs. Spurs are actually not
I
that great.
I feel Spurs, especially with against the smaller team, they score a lot, which is why I feel that they'll make it in. Against
I
the
don't
big
think
teams
so.
that
I think it'd be like a City, Arsenal, United, Chelsea kind of thing.
oh, that'll be that's almost like a throwback to the days of
Yeah.
old, like that feels
Yeah,
like
I actually think that because, dude, Conte can't push his team like he should, like he wants to after the World Cup. And if he does, then they're just going to get injured, and they don't have the bench strength. They don't have all of those things. So
But how many of
uh,
them are actually going to the
they'll
World
do
Cup?
just outside the top four.
Shall we run down the team that, like players from Spurs that will be actually playing in the World Cup?
I think we did this last week as well, right? So I think
Yeah,
in
we did
terms
that
of
last week. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so Tushar and I did that last week, but in terms of the
Yeah, but
top
in
four
terms of
predictions,
Chelsea
sorry.
and dude, that midfield of Jorginho is just not working. Kovacic is not working. Mason Mount has had 188 minutes and 0 goals, 0 assists. Uh, Havertz is having a shit season. We don't have a good we don't have a KDB, Silva, Gundogan kind of thing. We don't have.
A
We need a
creator.
creative midfielder very badly, and
You know what I think you guys need? I think you guys need a Bruno, because the rest of the team is built to defend and like get the team up and down the pitch. I think a Bruno would have been perfect in that setup where he's just always trying to find your
Or
forward
an
line.
Ericsson.
yeah,
Or an Ericsson.
like,
Yeah, I think
all our
Ericsson.
passing is always square. It's always left or straight or left. There's not a single banana pass or something like that. And that makes us heavily reliant on our wing backs, which is not a bad thing,
Yeah.
but we become damn predictable. Because if you block the wings, then you block our supply. That's it.
Yeah, that's the end of it. So it's
Then you just keep hoofing it over and hoping.
yeah.
Van der Beek would be good for this team, actually, if you think about it.
No, even Van de Beek is more side to side. I don't think he's the kind of player who makes the forward pass a lot. He's that metronome midfielder that'll keep the ball moving. But you need that. You need an Ericsson, basically, like an Ericsson or even a Bruno, a KDB type, somebody who'll pick that pass, will try something risky in the hope that things will happen for them. So you need one of those kind of players, and I think Chelsea they've completed the medical for Christopher Nkunku, which
Yeah, that was quite surprising.
60 million euros, I'm telling you, is a steal given how good that guy is. And they've already planned him for the next summers. Chelsea are making smart moves. Todd Bowley may say some crap things, but he's actually behind the scenes doing some good work. It just,
I
I
don't
believe,
understand why they've already done the medical for him to start next season.
Because
they just
next
wanted to
season, he runs down his contract. So they're calling dibs, in a sense.
Yeah, I think they pay his release clause, and they're just going to let him. What do you call? They're going to just make sure they get him out before he ends up running down his contract.
Yeah.
But speaking of former teams managed by Graham Potter, let's quickly look at Liverpool Brighton. Man, Liverpool are in free fall. I don't even know what to say anymore. It's just, I thought they'd come back. The international break would benefit them. They look worse, if not compared to what they were before the break.
Yeah.
And I did think that, given how attacking Brighton were, that Liverpool would get back into it. But Leandro Trossard, my God, he has done some unspeakable things to Trent Alexander-Arnold, and it just so happened that that Klopp has come out and defended Trent about his defending capabilities, about how he's always so high up the pitch. He's the highest amongst the back four, and that's an instruction, which does not mean that he's a bad defender. But in the box, Trossard twisted him up and sent him to the shops. It's not exactly the best sight if you're Trent, who's not having a good season. Neither is Van Dijk. For that third goal, God knows what Van Dijk was doing. It's just, it's a team that looks like it's running on fumes.
I also actually last week I had a gripe with Southgate for not playing TAA. I was like, what is wrong with this guy and all that. But this week, all three goals came down the left flank. All three.
Yeah.
And then the Athletic did an article on about almost 70 or 80% of the goals that Liverpool have let in this season have been down the left flank, which means they're all targeting TAA.
Yeah.
And even Klopp himself said he's not a bad defender. He's not a good one. He specifically said he's not a good one, but he said he's also not a bad one either. He's more a wing back than a defender.
Somebody said it's like if you played David Beckham at right back, this is what you'd get. Which is like the biggest backhanded compliment you could give somebody, right? And I don't know why Liverpool finished. We really need to do I think we'll do this before once the World Cup's over. We'll revise our season predictions. I think we all know who we have finishing on top, but in terms of Purely in terms of the performances up to this point, I don't quite know how Liverpool cracked the top four. I think there are at least
It's going to be
3 to
tricky.
4 other teams, yeah, that are much better than them. And I don't even know if they crack the Europa, the Champions League group. They might drop into Europa this season. They're not having a good time at all. Like the team is gassed. It's very clearly the team is old. It needs replacing. Klopp has put too much faith in players that have needed to be moved on, and now it's the chickens are coming home to roost.
Yeah, I mean the problem with Liverpool is they always played gegenpress, high intensity football. So if you don't have a high intensity, you're screwed. Unlike other teams who sit back and absorb pressure, even if you're not high intense in that game or you're putting full energy or your players are not fully mentally there, you can still like rough out a shithouse a few games and coast over. But in Liverpool system, you can't do that. You have to be all in or you're screwed.
I feel with Liverpool's situation at this point, it's also something to do with Klopp and just how he does not change, because my man Jurgen when the system works, it's free flowing, it's great, but when it's not working, maybe switch up your tactics. Planning isn't always the way forward. Sometimes you need a plan, like a plan B, to like get yourself through games, be a little more resolute, go take 1-0 wins, nick a 1-0 win. But he's so focused on his ethos, which I admire almost in a way, that sometimes it works to his detriment. Now there are actual murmurs of people getting fed up with Klopp in the Liverpool fan base. Like, I don't know why he doesn't change things. There is a general sense of frustration. It doesn't help that their biggest rival in Man City is absolutely slapping up this league. Uh, the Darwin Núñez signing has been seen as some sort of a joke. I don't think any signing has had this kind of treatment even before a ball was kicked, because even before Núñez was brought on to play in his debut, there were already memes. There was already like this agenda against him, and it somehow made him worse. He just does not look like a player that has no business being
He's
in the
gonna
Liverpool
take
setup.
time, dude. He's a new guy in a new league and all that.
For sure, but he doesn't. He just like I look at him play and I'm like, I don't understand how you fit this system. You are not the player that fits this system. I feel Liverpool got tricked into buying him because I think United were looking at him, some other teams were looking at him, and Liverpool decided, okay, he's the next hottest property. Haaland has gone to City, so we need a new striker, and this was the guy they jumped on. Like, there's a joke amongst Liverpool fans that say, "Oh, if a player plays well against Liverpool, they end up going and buying them." So I wouldn't be surprised to see Leandro Trossard at Liverpool next season or after the winter break.
Not a
But
bad shout.
yeah, I mean, Trossard, I think, is heading to a bigger club next season, come what may.
For
It
sure.
may
Yeah.
not be Liverpool, but it might be like the likes of a Spurs or something. Spurs will Spurs. Harry Kane is on his way. This will probably be his last season if Spurs don't win anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Bayern
Bayern
Munich.
Munich have already started their charm offensive, so maybe Spurs is a destination for a new look team, and Trossard could be a part of something new there. Who knows? But where do you guys think Liverpool finished the season?
Maybe
I
fifth.
think, yeah, fifth or sixth probably. The way the current form is going, that's where I
So
see.
let's run through the table. So I think let's say Man City finished first, right? Then
Yeah,
on current form, Arsenal finished second. Third, you'd probably put United. On fourth,
in current form, yeah.
in current
Spurs,
form. Fourth, you'd put
Spurs,
Spurs. Fifth, you'd have Chelsea. Oh no, fourth, sixth, you'd have like who else?
Brighton.
Brighton. No, Brighton. You don't quite know, right? But you could have
But current form, the top four right now, you never know.
Liverpool might finish anywhere between fifth to seventh, and I think that's the highest they'll finish, because you look at Salah. Salah looks bereft of confidence. You look at Luis Diaz, who didn't start this game, and I wonder why, because
But
he would be.
when he came on, he was actually a game changer for them.
Yeah, he really was.
I
Like,
saw, yeah.
he really picked the team up, but I think he's also wasteful. Kind of hogs the ball, tries to do too much.
Yeah.
There's some difficulty integrating him in there, but it's good to see. It's good to see him like drive the team forward. But besides that, Liverpool look like a team that is in a massive rut, and it's going to take quite a bit of time to quite a bit of time to get them out of it.
Yeah,
But
take them some time for sure to get back to what they were.
yeah, so in terms of in terms of like the other fixtures that happened over the weekend, let's just run through them. So Bournemouth, Brentford, and 0-0 there. Palace, Chelsea, we've discussed. Newcastle took to Fulham like a house on fire, and I think
You
was
had
it
them win
Harrison
last
Reed?
week.
Sorry,
You had them win against Newcastle.
who I had Fulham. I thought Fulham was going to win against Newcastle, but
Let me
I
pull up
believe
the predictions. What you guys
yeah,
have predicted.
I believe Chalobah got sent off. Oh yeah, we should have a look at our prediction table. Let's see what is in terms of in terms of our predicted fixtures last week was Tushar and I.
Let's see
So
it.
let's just run through the prediction list. Arsenal Spurs, I had a 2-2, Tushar had a 2-1, and Spurs ended up winning 3-1. Bournemouth
No,
Brentford,
Arsenal won. No?
sorry, Arsenal ended up, my bad, I'm sorry guys. Arsenal, Bournemouth and Brentford, I had Brentford winning 2-0. Tushar had Brentford winning 1-0. It was a draw there.
I would have thought Brentford would have won that quite easily.
Yeah. Palace Chelsea, we both went for a 2-1 to Chelsea, and that was the result at the end of the day. Fulham Newcastle, I had Fulham for a win. Those had Fulham for a draw, and it ended up being 4-1 to Newcastle. Liverpool Brighton, I think I have too much faith in Liverpool these days. I expected them to win 2-0. So did Tushar, and it was a high-scoring 3-3 draw. Southampton Everton, I thought it'd be a 1-1 game. It's always too close to call with Southampton. Tushar thought Everton would win 2-0. They ended up winning 2-1. Again, he's got me on a differential. What a guy. So West Ham versus
basically.
Yeah. Oh God, come on. Is that oh no. Okay, West Ham Wolves. I had Wolves winning this game. Those are West Ham drawing. West Ham ended up winning 2-0. Comfortable winners in this game. This was a game that got Bruno Lage sacked. I think he had one win in 15. There was a lot of disgruntlement amongst the fan base and even the board.
Was he sacked?
Yeah, they sacked him last night. So, so I think Wolves are on the lookout for a new manager.
Hey, Diego Costa came on and played.
Yeah,
he did a good job, actually. I actually really liked. I mean, I think he should have scored, but he's still the same guy, except now there's VAR, so he might not be a little better.
No, but I think he did manage to somehow change the game a bit. I watched a bit of the game after he came on, and I think he was quite instrumental in ball movement here and there.
Yeah, exactly. The commentators are like, this is like a game of basketball where every 1 minute it was going like they were trying to score, and then Wolves, like, it was just going back and forth, counter. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I missed this game. Then City United, I went for a 2-0 to United to City. Those went for a 3-1. Ultimately, it was 6-3 to Manchester City, and we both got the result right, but not the score. Leeds and Villa, I went for a 3-1, and Tushar went for a 1-0 to Villa. It was a score draw. Leicester take on Forest tonight, so we don't have the result of that just yet. We'll know more in the morning.
This could change
it. Yeah, it really could.
But
we both have this thing winning, dude.
Yeah, but
I believe it'll be a tie, right? It'll be a tie.
Depends on the score, though. If either of you get the score right.
Score right is very hard, but yeah.
You never know.
It'll be the same.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, we never know. So, to conclude on this week's episode, 46% of FPL managers did not captain Haaland this week, and I am one of the 46%. And we have paid the price.
Yeah.
Dropped 2 million in rankings.
Really?
So yeah, I was at 1 million and 200,000. I've dropped to 3 million change. So it's just brutal FPL weekend for yours truly. Any more
Do you
games to
want to
talk
run
about
through
from across?
next week's fixtures and
No, let's do
predictions?
that on Thursday. Let's do that on Thursday. Let's just quickly look at, to conclude,
Okay.
let's look at the Champions League fixtures that are coming up this week and have some thoughts on that, and then just carry on from there, because I believe this week there are a few really spicy games. Inter play Barcelona on Wednesday, or on Tuesday, which is Wednesday for us. You have Eintracht Frankfurt versus Tottenham, Benfica versus PSG. What else? Liverpool Rangers. Juventus also are in big trouble. Their manager they're about to sack, or looks like he's headed towards the sack. Allegri is having a torrid
Degree
season.
ball. Yeah.
But did you see the video of Mourinho sitting in a
The
bus
van.
in
Yeah.
the
No,
van
he got his own
outside?
van, like a decked out van. You watch it.
It wasn't really decked up, I feel. I think it was just
No,
normal
like he
van.
got like captain seats and all that. Like he basically
Yeah.
got like a really sweet place to watch the game right outside San Siro. And the view
Yeah.
that he has at San Siro is a beautiful stadium. It's one of those iconic stadiums. And he's just got like top of like a cliff like thing, and he's just parked the van there and he's watching the game. Looks hilarious. Yeah.
And he was celebrating in the parking lot right at the end of it, because
Yeah.
Inter lost that game. I think Chris Smalling and Paulo Dybala ended up scoring in the game.
Dude, I love Roma Mourinho, dude. It's like olden days Mourinho, like the happy one or special one or whatever.
I feel the project at Roma is Mourinho. They're like, you do what you need. This
Yeah,
is our
that's what
budget.
the owner said, right? He is the project.
Yeah.
Like he is
So
the project, there's nobody else.
yeah, so they're not like what do you call? They're not entirely focused on playing a specific brand of football, and which is exactly what Mourinho needed, because he's happy. I don't think they'll win Serie A, but you never know under Jose.
No, they
Jose has
lost 4 games in a row. Like before Inter or something, they lost 4 games in a row. And
I
then
don't think they've lost 4 games in a row. I think they've
something
five.
like
They
that.
played 5.
I'm
Yeah.
just checking as we speak.
So
So I don't think-
they asked the owners, "Oh, will you sack Mourinho?" And they're like, "What's wrong with you? Mourinho is Roma."
They won the previous. They lost the previous game
Okay.
against Atlanta, and then back in September they lost the game. But they've been either winning or having a draw.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I read somewhere that they're asking, "Will you sack Mourinho?" And they're like, "What's wrong with you? Mourinho is Roma." And I think when Mourinho has that kind of breathing confidence that "Dude, I won't get sacked," that's when you get like the most gangster level Mourinho, where he's going and abusing referees, he's going and like pushing the fourth official, doing whatever the hell he wants, because he's like, the owners back me, like doesn't matter.
And he'll win them. Like he got them the Conference League trophy last year. And
Yeah, he got them a European
Yeah.
trophy after they got 20 years or something insane.
yeah, exactly. So Jose does Jose things. Dude. That's a really
He also came in
awesome.
that rap video, right? That guy's rap video.
Yeah, with Stormzy. Yeah, Mel made me do it, which
Yeah.
automatically cements him as the GOAT. I mean, to have Mourinho in a rap music video, that was
He's the
that was
only
insane.
one who can do that, right? And I mean, think about it, right? Like, so you know how there's something called a dollar store in the US.
Yeah.
So in the UK, they have something called Poundland. Okay,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
not anything dirty. It's just Poundland. Okay, and they keep calling Arteta Poundland Pep. Okay?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm forever going to refer to him as Poundland Pep.
Hey, the Poundland Pep is having a great season.
Basically, yeah.
Poundland Pep is having a great season.
Yeah. So is Pep, dude. So,
Yeah. Pep, I think, is just like, yeah, I'm gonna let Haaland do his thing. Like, let the team play. Make sure you give the ball to him as you're like on your way to the goal.
Yeah, they asked Pep, who do you think is better, Haaland or Messi? And he's like, Haaland has a whole team supporting him. Messi had to do it alone.
True, true.
And then I'm just like, dude, Xavi and Iniesta must be like, what? Like, what did we do? Like,
Especially for Xavi. Xavi must like Xavi is like Pep's disciple, right? So
yeah.
Yeah.
you should be like, what's happening with that? But anyway, I think that's us on this week's episode. No, a crisp 1 hour. Well done, guys. We did it.
Yeah.
I think it was just
Wow.
under 55 minutes actually, given that we started about 5 minutes later. But that's us. With the episode will be out tomorrow morning latest. I will have it ready to go by the morning. And then we'll be back again for the preview on Thursday. I believe we all do Thursday. Akshay, what are you doing Thursday, my friend?
We'll see. I don't know my plan yet.
Okay, I'm going to book you for a Thursday plan so you don't do anything else.
Done.
We might actually do an episode in person. I think it's time we kind of figure that out. We'll just like figure out the logistics for it. Anyway, we
That
all
is
have,
right.
we kind of have enough equipment to get us going. So an in-person episode is coming soon, given that we are 10 minutes apart from each other. Akshay's case 15.
And more than
Maybe
15.
half an hour.
Given when Bangalore's
Maybe
traffic.
maybe half an hour.
Yeah.
15 in the night.
15 minutes. But okay, that's us. We'll see you on the next one, everyone.
Cheers.
Until then, take
Bye.
care.